I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's 11 o'clock at night. Guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing the best base makeup of 2020. So I break it down into categories, and I thought that that was best for me because I don't want my videos to be too long, and I would like to have it, you know, if you're specifically looking for the best concealer, you don't have to sit through a 40-50 minute video. You can just watch this one because it's focusing on my, you know, base makeup. And then if you're interested in it all, then you can watch my upcoming videos as well. So today's video is going to be base makeup. My personal opinion on what the best makeup that I have tried or really just used in general of 2020. So this is primer, foundation, concealer, powder, and setting spray. That's basically what I've included in today's category. So let's start with primer. I'm going to be doing a drugstore and a high-end of each category. So my favorite high-end primer is the Tatcha. When I had to sit down and think of one, this is the one that I thought of because it does two things that I really like in a primer. And I typically double up on primers. I'll do one that's going to kind of prep the skin, give it some hydration so that nothing gets dry or cakey, but then also smooths the pores, and this does both jobs. So I don't need to use two with this, and that's why I felt it was the best. It kind of hydrates the skin, it gives it enough hydration, and it really does a great job at balancing my skin because I do have combination skin. So I can get oily throughout the day. This doesn't really create any excess oil. It's not too hydrating for my combo skin, but I also have a lot of dehydration. This can kind of help balance that and kind of hydrate any dehydrated patches so that when you apply foundation, concealer, powders on top, it's not looking dry. And then again, it also smooths out the pores, and it really does a great job at that. It's not maybe the most pore filling primer, but the fact that it kind of does both jobs is why I chose this as my favorite high-end primer of 2020. And I know this didn't come out in 2020. Some of the products didn't, but I recently tried it this year, and some of them I just chose because even if I tried them in previous years, like they're just that good. They just beat everything else. My drugstore version is e.l.f. for honestly the exact same reasons. Again, if I had to pick one, it would be both of these because they help kind of bring some hydration, bring some balance to the skin, nourish the skin a little bit so that everything's going to go on really beautifully and flawlessly. And then also the pore filling element is what I look for most in a primer. I just really feel like primer for me specifically has to fill in my pores, or else I'm not really feeling like I'm having the best makeup day. So these are my two best primers of 2020, high-end and drugstore, my best recommendations if you know, are looking for a primer that has pore filling aspect, but also, you know, still balancing and hydrating. So then on to foundation. My high-end favorite is the NARS Soft Matte. I'm actually wearing it today, and it is honestly amazing. I've raved on this so many times since I've tried it, which wasn't even that long ago. It's full coverage. It is soft matte, but it's not drying. It does help control shine, and it's, like I said, it's not drying. A lot of matte foundations, now that my skin is getting less and less oily, it used to be oily, now it's more combo. A lot of matte foundations are looking too dry. They look too dry, they don't sit well on the skin, and this one does not do that. It looks flawless, it looks smooth. It really helps kind of blur the skin, make it look flawless. Again, full coverage. It's honestly incredible. I really, really, really like this and recommend it to anybody looking for a full coverage foundation. If you like really natural, this won't be for you. Then my favorite drugstore foundation. If I'm being completely honest with you, this may be one of my favorite foundations in general, is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. Now this baby has a much lower price tag, but probably I love just as much as this one, if not most likely more. It is a natural finish in my opinion. It says mattifying on it, but I don't think it's ultra mattifying. It is more natural finish, but it's not going to, like, I think oily skin type people can also wear this. Like it's not dewy, it's not radiant whatsoever. It's just not drying at all. And it doesn't give that really crisp matte finish. So if you're looking for matte, this would be the way to go. If you want more of like a natural finish, this one is it. It has medium to full coverage, but it is most definitely buildable. You can get it 100% to that full coverage. It's a much more liquidy, although I guess, you know what, actually they're both kind of liquidy, but this one is quite liquidy, but it really builds beautifully. It doesn't look, you know, cakey. It honestly is one of the most smoothing foundations I've ever worn, and I'm obsessed with this. It lasts so long, doesn't break down, and I really, 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 really love this foundation. It is probably one of my top recommendations for foundation in general. Concealer. So concealer for high end. This was actually hard for me. So my first from 2020, and one that I really, really enjoy, and I actually have both of these on. So I'll talk about the high end one first. I actually have it on this side, this one here, the Benefit Boing concealer. It's cakeless, and it really is. It is very good coverage, but it doesn't get cakey. It's a more matte finish, but it's not too matte because my under eye does get dry. I have to set my under eye, and this one sets beautifully. It doesn't get dry. It really is buildable. It's beautiful. It's blendable, and it lasts a long time. It doesn't crease, which is another issue I run into very frequently. Now, okay, I'm lying because I would say every single concealer I've ever tried has creased on me one time or another. Out of all my concealers, this is one that creases, you know, one of the least. I really like it. It's very comparable to Tarte Shape Tape. It has good coverage, kind of a matte finish, but not drying. It's really, really, really good. And then my drugstore favorite is CoverGirl True Blend Undercover. Again, one of my favorite concealers, very natural looking, yet very full coverage. Like, it looks natural on the skin, and so does this one as well. But it's very natural as it sits on the skin. It's not noticeable. It's not cakey. Very, very good coverage. Probably, I would say these guys are actually about the same coverage. Medium to full, buildable coverage. Both set really well. Like, this one is honestly incredible. And again, this is where another category where this concealer I reach for more often. It's so good. Like, drugstore has been pulling through left, right, and center for me lately, and I just love, love, love this concealer. And it is like one of a fan favorite, like a cult favorite. I don't know if it's actually like a cult favorite, but it is loved by a lot of people, and I really like it. Like, CoverGirl did a great job with this one. So now we're on to setting powder, and this one was an easy pick for me. High-end Laura Mercier all the way. This is not one I tried this year. I've tried it before, but I love it so much. Like, if I had to pick one setting powder for the rest of my life, this would be it. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts. It is very smoothing. It does not dry out your skin. It does not accentuate texture. It does, like, on the under eye, I can bake with it. It's not the best baking powder, I will say that. It's not like super, super pigmented, but it's a more natural baking powder, but you can bake with it. Like, it's good enough that you can bake with it, and I really, really like it. It's a very, like, user-friendly, versatile powder. You can use it for baking, for just dusting, very light, like just a light amount, and I really, really like it for, like, it blends everything out beautifully. Products apply well on top. It, you know, have you ever used a powder where you apply it over top of a product you love, like a concealer or a foundation, and it kind of makes things look cakey, like it's almost too thick? This one is like the farthest thing from that. It smooths everything out. It sets it down, it holds it in place for all day, and it helps control shine. So good. Then my drugstore option is my Maybelline Fit Me. I actually tried this for the first time this year. So this is like a new find for me this year. Where has this been all my life? Like, seriously. I baked my under eyes and my cheekbones with this, and it bakes. Like, it's honestly my favorite powder for baking. My absolute favorite powder for baking. It's so, so, so good. It's very pigmented, but it doesn't get cakey. Like, it's not too thick, but it's very pigmented, so it really brightens the under eyes. It really brightens wherever you're baking, but you can also use a light amount on your brush to set the face like a normal setting powder, like the Laura Mercier, and it does a similar job. I would say this one is better for all over kind of setting. This one is usually the one I go for baking, and this is the one I usually go for all over, but they both can be used for both. They're both really great. They're both very finely milled. So again, you can bake with them. They really are they're just so smooth. They're both very smoothing. This one does not dry out your under eyes either. And it actually really helps smooth out this area for me. I have very textured skin in that area. And this, once I started using this, I found my under eye and like this area has been so much smoother whenever I use it. And like, honestly, both of these are very smoothing. They set, they don't dry, and they're so great. So last but not least, we have setting spray. My high-end favorite is actually my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is the mini size. I have not set my face yet because I want to show you. It is so good. The mister is pretty good. It's not my favorite mister. It's just the actual product is so incredible. It really kind of makes your face look dewy and glowy, but then it kind of sets down and it doesn't look too glowy all day. So this is good for pretty much everybody. If you have oily skin, you might want a really, matte one, but I find mattifying setting sprays can sometimes, it doesn't pull the makeup together like a kind of natural finish or just dewy setting spray does. This one isn't necessarily dewy, but it's also not matte. It's not matte whatsoever. It's veering more on the dewy side, but it doesn't make your face look oily. It doesn't make your face look greasy. I think it would be able to be used by a lot of different skin types. I find that it really helps bring the makeup together. It helps kind of get rid of that powder finish that you can sometimes get. What's that word? Livens up your makeup. Is that a word? Livens? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's 11 o'clock at night. It really just brings life to your makeup. It just brings everything together, honestly. It sets it. It does help your makeup last longer. I really love this product so much. And it actually surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I did. I really love it. And the mister's not my favorite, but it's really, like, it's fine. It's not as good as some of my, favorite setting sprays that I love specifically for their mister. This one I love more specifically for the product. Like, it's that good. It makes your makeup all melt together perfectly and just look flawless. Love it. This one here is my drugstore favorite. Now I know this is kind of cheating because this isn't like necessarily drugstore, but I kind of consider Morphe drugstore. So this is my favorite because this is actually one of my favorite setting sprays ever. For many reasons. I like the formula. It kind of makes your face look a little bit dewy. Like, I will show you. Like, it really does make your face look kind of dewy, but not too dewy. Like, it kind of accentuates your high point, but it doesn't make your whole face look greasy or oily. It again brings your makeup all together, melts it all together. It looks fantastic. It looks smooth. It looks flawless. Gets rid of that powder finish, sets it. It really does help the long wear of your foundation and other face products. But the reason I love this so much, do you see that? Do you see that, mister? Do you see how fine that is? This is one of the finest setting sprays I've ever used. It's so incredible. I think I might like it even more than the Charlotte Tilbury because the mister is that incredible. Like, it's almost like aerosol because it comes out so fine. It feels so refreshing. It's like impossible to get like too much product in one area unless you like held it to your face like right next to it. But you know how sometimes you spray setting sprays and like it might shoot like a squirt on your face? It's like impossible because it's that fine. It's that perfect. So yeah, that is everything for today's video. This is my favorite base makeup products of 2020. I wanted to share these with you and I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful, got some product recommendations. Stay tuned for my cheek product recommendations, my faves of 2020, my favorite eye products, and my favorite lip products. These are all coming in the near future, along with many other exciting videos. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed and have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, and by the way, guys, today is my 1-year anniversary of my channel. So happy anniversary to me. This is 1 year, guys. Thank you so much for all your support, and I can't wait for what the future holds for my channel. So thanks so much for supporting me. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.